Emisión.net.
Hello again and welcome once again to Letter from England, broadcasting for the Spanish Evangelical Alliance and AC Press. My name is Jonathan Dawson, and first of all, those of us at AC Press would like to wish you all a very happy new year. The year starts with religion having a hard time of it in Spain. Now that might be a good or a bad thing, depending on what kind of religion we're talking about and on what takes its place. The Second Ecumenism Congress has recently finished, at which Catholic, Orthodox and Protestant delegates agreed on the need to form a united front against what they called offensive laicism, the new state religion being propagated by the socialist government. José Luis Díez, Congress spokesman and editor of the magazine Pastoral Ecuménica, said time will have to be taken to ensure that a common witness is given to today's lay society. The Congress, organised by a Catholic mission group and by the Ecumenical Centre, studied as its main aim some of the points raised by the Vatican with regard to the promotion of Christian unity. But as ever when Christian unity is discussed, people mean different things by that term. The Catholic Church, at least in its official line, sees it as bringing others back into the fold of Mother Church, whereas evangelicals see unity in a biblical sense as being in the gospel. If we believe in Christ, we are one, spiritually if not institutionally. However, this Congress looked at such aspects as communion, which according to Díez is a sign of unity for Catholics and Orthodox believers, but a means to approach unity for Protestants. The sacramental understanding of baptism and communion in the Catholic Church continues to be an insuperable barrier to true unity. And Díez was perhaps nearer to the truth than he himself realized when he commented, "Celebrating the Eucharist together is a desire, but first we must agree on the essentials of faith." He criticized impatience, though, on both sides, saying that a precipitate move could be counterproductive and lead to a false ecumenism. Indeed. At the same time, Spanish Catholic bishops have responded with alacrity and in a highly critical tone to government proposals for the new school subject of citizenship. They've accused the government of clumsiness and of opening a useless debate, claiming that such moves prove the relevance of the recent pastoral instruction issued by the bishops, which attacked the tidal wave of laicism, which could turn out, they say, to be the precursor of totalitarianism. Well, the stakes are certainly high, at least verbally, in Spain at the moment. However, from an evangelical perspective, if it weren't for feelings that this is somewhat a case of the pot calling the kettle black, one might be tempted to indulge in some discreet flag-waving. Unfortunately, the last century's history within the Catholic Church in Spain shows that they're not averse to a spot of totalitarianism themselves, if it serves their purposes. Are we merely replacing one kind of dictatorship with another here? Well, although the House of Bishops refrained from commenting officially, the Bishop of Valencia, Agustín García Gascón, denounced government attempts to impose an exclusive laicism, saying their aim was to exclude religion, and especially Catholicism, from the public sphere, thereby denying freedom of speech and removing it from public debate. End of quote. And I'm sure many evangelicals would sympathise with him there, that indeed the government does seem to be imposing laicism at all costs. The recent case of a school in or near Malaga, in which a headmistress threw an RE class's nativity scene into the rubbish bin, points this out. Her defence, if defence it be, was that religious symbols cannot be tolerated in a state school where there are various religious beliefs held by its pupils. The same old hackneyed, tired, and of course irrelevant arguments of political correctness. And in her particular case, of course, it completely forgets that RE in Spain is an optional subject, and pupils may opt out of it if they wish. Never mind the fact that making a nativity scene, which is a great Christmas tradition in Spain, going back many, many years, might actually be seen as much a cultural and artistic activity as a religious one, and even in its religious sphere, surely it's teaching the pupils about religious beliefs and religious traditions. The Bishop of Valencia adds that by reading between the lines, one can detect the desire on the part of the government to impose a laicism which excludes other ideas as if it were the state religion. And part of this process is the tendency to criticise any suggestions, he says, which come from the Catholic Church. Also the move to prevent Christians from expressing their beliefs in public, the suppression of religious signs and symbols, as we've just seen, and the reduction of beliefs to the private sphere, denying Christianity its inherent social dimension. In that last phrase of the bishop's, I think, lies the nub of this debate. Is Christianity merely a private matter, or is the government actually trying to deny Christianity its inherent social dimension? Or we as evangelicals, called to be salt and light in society, to be involved in every aspect of the nation's life and to influence it for good, would certainly feel that Christianity has a very powerful social dimension to offer, and that any government which denies us that right needs to be confronted and challenged. Meanwhile, a watchdog for religious freedom in Spain has also denounced the government for embarking on what it calls a lay offensive, which seeks to wipe out, marginalise or ridicule any kind of religious manifestation in Spain. The organisation's spokesman, Fernando Pérez Crespo, criticised the baroque title of the new subject to be taught in schools, the equivalent of citizenship in the UK, to be called Constitution, Laicism and Education, saying that it proved that the Socialist Party wants to exalt lay values over and above monotheistic religious beliefs. The watchdog points out that the new subject puts Christianity and the other monotheistic religions at the same level as polytheistic religions, atheism, laicism and so forth, ignoring particularly Christianity's enormous contribution to Western culture, philosophy, art and literature, whereas many other ideologies have had little or no relevance in the development of Western thought. Christianity has always been at the very heart of it. A challenging and interesting year awaits us, I think, in 2007. Thank you for listening to Letter from England, broadcasting for AC Press at emission.net each week. Goodbye for now.
Emisión.net